Good evening and welcome to the U.S. Nightly News. I'm your host, Isabelle, and tonight we will be talking about issues that are currently sweeping our nation. Throughout the next hour, we will bring you live updates on problems that Americans are facing each and every day. We go now live to Sophia Jessamine, who is at our nation's capital. Sophia?
Hello, Isabelle. I'm broadcasting live from Washington, D.C., where one of the many scrap drives is being held. Over the past hour, many citizens have been bringing their old supplies down to donate to war efforts. Tires and metals seem to be the most common items being donated. Next to me, I have Sue Ellen, who is one of the many citizens donating to this scrap drive. Sue Ellen, why are you here today?
Well, Sophia, I believe that for our country to succeed, we need to support them in any way possible. By donating old items, we're doing our small part in order for the bigger picture to succeed.
Sue Ellen, can you explain to our viewers why participating in these events will help our country's victory?
By participating in scrap drives, we are reducing the amount of materials needed to be produced for war efforts. Scrap drives will save our nations thousands of dollars that can later be put into other areas of the war.
Thank you, Sue Ellen, for all your support for our nation. You heard it here live, folks.
It inspires me that during such a hard time, people are coming together and showing support for our country. I've also heard that many celebrities have been seen at scrap drives to promote them. So if you go downtown, you might get lucky and see one of them. The scrap drives are in need of most of rubber, steel, and old tires. And we'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Now introducing Monopoly. This family board game is fun for everyone. Go into stores and buy this amazing game today to get your mind off the war.
Hi, Isabelle. I'm here standing right next to the White House where I have recently spoken to the President. The President refuses to come on screen, but to talk about what he believes should be done about the profits and wages going on right now. But he has said, and I quote, "If all our people have work, fair wages, and fair profits, they can buy the product of their neighbor, and business is good. But if you take away the wages and profits of half of them, business is only half as good. It doesn't help much if the fortunate half is very prosperous." So for the viewers at home, what this means is employers should give their workers higher wages and lower hours. If we all agree to do so, the American people will be put once again into jobs, and our economy will once again start running. President Roosevelt has come up with a 7-point plan, but without the cooperation of the people, we can do nothing to save our economy.
It is always interesting to hear what our president's side of the matter. Now it's time for our daily talk. Tonight's topic is about our nation's rationing system and the new limitations that have just recently been added. The Office of Administration, otherwise known as the OPA, recently issued a statement saying that new ration booklets will be distributed this month instead of the old version. I have here the new version. Ration booklets will be distributed at schools and each family member will get one. And we all know the importance of rationing our nation's meat, rubber, sugar, gas, and any other necessary supplies. Blue coupons, otherwise known as blue points, control our nation's processed food items for the ration booklets, while red points control items such as meats, fats, and oils. Different coupons control different items like coffee and sugar. When we buy food, we now have to use these ration booklets instead of money. These changes are crucial toward war efforts. Wait, this just in, breaking news. A new bill has just been passed. We go now live to Daniela, who has new information for us. Daniela?
We interrupt this programming with breaking news. Roosevelt has just passed a bill to stabilize the food prices in order to control inflation. The OPA and the OES have been set up in order to control these prices and stabilize the economy. The OPA and the OES have a major influence on controlling the inflation in our country today. And so we ask of you Americans to sign a pledge to refrain from striking. This is all the information we have now. I will keep you in touch as the argument develops. Back to you, Isabelle.
Thank you, Daniela, for those new updates. We now go to Sophia, who has new information on Victory Gardens. Sophia?
Hi, Isabelle. I'm here at a community victory garden to get opinions of American people on their gardens. As you may know, the government has been encouraging everyone to plant victory gardens in order for us to increase the food we send over to the war. I've seen these gardens in almost any area, including backyards, schoolyards, rooftops, and city parks. By planting their own fruits and vegetables, people do not need to purchase as much food, which allows us to send more of our food overseas. Here I have Elizabeth, who plants in this community victory garden. Elizabeth, what can you tell us about your victory garden?
Right now, I'm growing carrots, tomatoes, and radishes, but our garden grows a wide variety of different vegetables.
That's great. And why did you decide to start planting a victory garden?
Well, having a victory garden makes me feel like I'm doing my part to support the war. By reducing on the amount that I purchase, more food and more money can be sent to the troops overseas. The government has also been encouraging us to plant our own vegetable gardens, and I knew it was just something I had to do. It also makes all the public areas look more appealing. And I also enjoy exercise and relaxing and being outside with all my friends.
Thank you, Elizabeth. The gardens look wonderful, and I hope everyone at home has their own victory garden. And if not, you just heard the many benefits from Elizabeth. So you should go start one and help support our country. Back to you, Isabelle.
Great information, Sophia. Thank you. Well, that wraps up all we have tonight on the issues that are currently sweeping our nation because of World War II. Before we go, we have an interview clip of Sophia, who is interviewing a veteran soldier.
Okay.
So what do you remember about your family's life money-wise?
I was lucky that both, that my father was working, and we had just enough to get by. Didn't have a lot of money, but we always had a meal on the table. Basically,
What about rationing?
we didn't have a car, so it didn't make any difference, but we did get rationed as far as meat was concerned, and what was the other thing? Sugar. Meat, sugar, yeah. But we had a friend that had a meat store, and he always made sure that whatever my mother used to order before the war, he gave her that again.
Oh, okay. Did you have a victory garden at your house?
Everybody had
Everyone?
in that backyard, I remember my father planted tomatoes, peppers, corn, parsley, and things like that. So, everyday stuff that we used to use. My mother used to cook for the bakery. Yeah.
Did the government, did they encourage that? Did they want
Well, they
everyone?
encouraged it, yes. Because a lot of the food was going into the army, was going over to England, places like that. So because they didn't have much over there, because we gave them quite a bit.
Yeah. What about scrap drives? Did your family donate all your extra things to that?
Yeah, we did that. They wanted to have old tires, rubber tires, and things like that. We managed to do everything the government wanted because it was a very important thing that the American or the U.S. government had the things it needed. Okay.
How were prices on everyday things?
Prices were pretty good if you could get the stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Certain things you could get, certain things you couldn't. There was an emergency on certain types of food. Like I said, gas was rationed. If you didn't have a car, it didn't make any difference.
Yep.
Other than that, yeah. Like steaks were rationed, meats were rationed, but we managed. We got along all right.
Well, that's all for tonight, folks. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Ms.moulton, and we will see you tomorrow night.